Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. So, y'all, I see Chris Rock. Well, I haven't seen the movie Bad Boys 4 yet, but apparently there's a slap scene in a movie that Chris Rock is not feeling. And it's just kind of like at some point you kind of got to let it go, but then again, I don't know, because if that would have happened to me, I think I still would be mad, especially if 2 years passed and I haven't done anything about it yet. But with that being said, if 2 years passed and you haven't done anything about it yet, then let it go. You still harboring on to that. So, what's going on, y'all? Like I said, Chris Rock is mad because of the slap scene, in the movie Bad Boys 4, where Will Smith is smacking somebody across the face, and it's kind of like, I don't know. Now, Chris Rock made jokes about the slap also, and if I'm not mistaken, a Netflix special. He had he's also he's also joking about the slap. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, is he thinking about it? Like, it's okay for him to joke about it and make people laugh about it because it happened to him and he's the victim, so he can talk about it or do whatever he want to do with it. But it's not okay for Will Smith to do the same thing because he was the bully. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he thinking about it like that? Because I'm not getting how he think that it's okay for him to make jokes and laugh about it, but it's not okay for Will Smith to do it. And then, just like I said, unless he's looking at it like I was just saying, like, it happened to me. I'm the victim, so I can laugh and joke about it. But you're the bully and you did it, so you can't laugh and joke about it. So, you know what I'm saying? Is that kind of what it's like? Because at the end of the day, y'all, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. And then it's kind of like, now, don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not saying, because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, if somebody smacked me now outside of my parents, my mother, somebody like that, smacked me across my face and I didn't do anything, and you know what I'm saying, it's 2 years later and I'm still mad about it. But with that being said, if it happened and I didn't do anything about it in 2 years, then I'm looking silly to still be mad about it. Like, why am I still harboring on to something? Like, at this point, I don't know what Chris Rock I don't know what, because from my understanding, I thought Will Smith apologized, and I don't think they talk to each other face to face or on the phone or anything like that. But I think I heard that Will Smith made an apology to Chris Rock. I don't know, y'all. I don't know how that went down. I didn't keep too much up on it as far as if an apology was, but I kind of think that I did see that Will Smith that he apologized to Chris Rock. I kind of think that I saw that, but like I say, y'all, I'm not 100% sure. But again, y'all, like I was saying too, it's been 2 years, and like, so what do you like? What does he expect? Like, what is Chris Rock expecting? Is he expecting for Will Smith to never say anything about it? I'm gonna tell y'all what I think, y'all. I think that Chris Rock, he's still mad about it, and like I said, he has all right to be. He has all right to be upset about it still because it did happen to him. But like I said, at one point he was making jokes and having people laughing about it too. And I think that at the time, I think that Chris Rock, and I think a lot of other people was for sure that Will Smith was going to be canceled after that slap. He did that at the Oscars where he interrupted the show to walk up on stage to smack somebody across the face. So a lot of people was for certain that Will Smith was going to be canceled after that, and he wasn't. Like, nothing ever happened, and it never slowed down for him, for Will Smith. So I think that people thought that when Bad Boys 2 was released, I think a lot of people was thinking that Bad Boys 2 was going to flop, because I think that a lot of them had it in their head that People weren't really messing with Will Smith like that. Nobody's gonna go see the movie and yada yada. And now this movie is, is a massive box office hit for one, just like they said. Made so much money in less than a month that it's been out. And like I said, I think that people thought that this movie was going to flop, because if the signs of people canceling Will Smith weren't being shown, they definitely were going to be shown with, when this movie came out, when Bad Boys 4 came out. And y'all, just like I said, it's a box office hit. So I think that that's a lot of disappointment for people, because at this point Will Smith is not going anywhere. Nobody's going to be able to cancel I'm not going to say nobody's going to be able to cancel Will Smith, but I think when I looked at that, now me personally, this is what I thought about when I the whole slap thing happened. Because somebody like Will Smith, you don't really hear about him. Now I don't know him personally, so I don't know what his life was like years ago or whatever, before he made it big or whatever. But Will Smith, most of the time when I hear about Will Smith and when I see Will Smith, it's some positive, good hearted, and this man had people talk about him and the situation that was going on with him and his wife and the disrespect that she was going, and he still didn't lose his cool. And at the Oscars that night, now he knew where he was. He knew who he was surrounded by. And sometimes, y'all, I think all of us has had this happen to us at least one time, where it's that time where you kind of come out of your square a little bit, like you didn't had enough. Like you had enough. So you kind of come out of your square a little bit. And that's how I looked at with Will Smith. I looked like, at the time he was fed up, and all of that Chris Rock was doing was the icing on the cake to all of that, and he just snapped. Maybe Chris Rock didn't deserve the smack, because maybe all of the animosity wasn't based on what Chris Rock was saying. But just like I said, with all that he had going on, Chris Rock, you doing too much right now. You the icing on the cake. So he did what he did. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why people kind of forgave Will Smith also. Because if it was anybody else with a bad attitude, nasty attitude, every time you turn around, they into this, that, and the other, and got all of this going on and all of that. I think that the situation may have been different, but we're talking about Will Smith. And just like I said, at the end of the day, it happened, and it just is what it is. But Will Smith, Will Smith, that people are not going to cancel Will Smith behind what he did to Chris Rock, for one. And then the sad part about it, because now y'all know, if regardless of if he's Will Smith or not, if he would have done that to if he would have done that to another race person or whatever, y'all know what I'm trying to say. But if that would have happened with that, then yeah, Will Smith probably would have been, maybe they would have, maybe he would have lost some cool points with some people. But being that it was Will Smith smacking another black man, and then somebody, Chris Rock is cool and all of that, but Chris Rock is not. He's not. Well, how am I trying to say this? I think what I'm trying to say is that people are more familiar. Not even that, because a lot of people are familiar with Chris Rock just as well as they are familiar with Will Smith. But I just think that it's just, just like I said, Will Smith is Will Smith. Chris Rock has been known, y'all. Like for me personally, Chris Rock has done some things that I don't mess with Chris Rock too tight. Expect now, everybody hates Chris. I love everybody hates Chris. But outside of everybody hates Chris, I'm not real big on Chris Rock, because he does and says things that irritates me a lot. And I didn't, not that I can recall right now off the top of my head, if ever Will Smith ever said anything out of the mouth that irritated me, to the point where I didn't want to be bothered with Will Smith. So yeah, I'm more of a Will Smith fan. And I think it's like that with a whole lot of people. They're what people like Chris Rock, but they're more of a fan of Will Smith. But just like I said, y'all, if Will Smith, I mean, if Chris Rock, if it was the other way around, if Chris Rock was, had the other color skin and all of that, then this might have would have been going a different way right now, because if they wouldn't have been able to bring Will down, they would have been, all they had to do was start blackballing him. And we know that it's people powerful enough in that industry. Although Will Smith he is powerful, it's people over top of him that can snatch the rug from up under him, like they did with Diddy. We seeing it going on with Diddy right now, and it's not like the first time we seen it going. We seen it go. We see it. We've seen it with a whole lot of, especially black male celebrities. Like, you think you have so much power. I think Diddy right now is a prime example of that, because Diddy was very, very powerful. Diddy was very powerful. Just like how I look at Jay-Z. Like, he's very powerful in the industry. So to be able to have them, your life flipped upside down like that, like, like what's going on with him right now, that goes to show you that your power, at the end of the day, you still a black man, regardless of what your power is in the industry. You are still a black man, and all of that can be stripped away from you just like that. Because just like I said, Diddy is a prime example of that. So if Chris Rock was that other color, then yeah, Will Smith, it might have would have been something different from him. Bad Boys 4 probably would have been a flop, because they would have worked extremely hard to make that happen. But anyway, y'all, let me read this article and see what they're saying. So it says Chris Rock is reportedly livid with Will Smith and Bad Boys 4 for including a slap scene. Just a couple of years ago, Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars. Overall, it stemmed from a joke that Smith made about Jada Pinkett Smith. At the time, this was one of the most viral outbursts of all time. The discourse around it was quite striking. However, Smith was able to get over it and continue his career in Hollywood. As for Rock, he has remained upset at Smith and has consistently stated that he is still upset about what went down. Recently, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence teamed up for Bad Boys 4, which has proven to be a massive box office hit. In the movie, there's one scene where Smith slaps someone extremely hard across the face. Of course, the scene is meant to be a reference to the now iconic slap. While I'm buzzing y'all, so I'm sorry. Okay, so while moviegoers thought it was funny, it seems as though Rock completely disagrees. According to Hot 97, a source close to Rock has spoken out against Smith. Okay. Chris thinks it's a pretty cheap stunt, and he's telling people how lame he finds it. The source explains. It's a classic case of Will making light of a horrific situation. Will's playing the victim. It was the lowest, y'all. It was the lowest point of his career, but that's no excuse. And let me see some more. Okay, so just let us know what you think about it. Yeah, and if y'all listening to this video, whatever, then leave a comment and let me know what y'all feel about it. Cause do y'all feel like Chris Rock still should be mad, or do y'all feel like it's something it's something that he needs to get over? It's been 2 years, and just like I said, it happened. It is what it is, and if I feel like if Chris Rock, if he wants to continue to be mad about this, he's going to be mad about this for a long time, because just like I said, Will Smith isn't going anywhere. And look at this, y'all. The way that Will smacked him. Now I know Chris Rock. I know you up there doing the job and all of that, and how big the Oscars are and yada yada. But I really do not think that them people would have been upset or treated you any differently if you smacked him back. Like, sometimes you really do have to be the bigger person. But I can't imagine somebody, just like I said, y'all, I can't imagine just anybody just walking up to me, smacking me in my face, and I'm going to be the bigger person and stand there and try to joke it off and smile it off and laugh it off. No, 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 no. Y'all going to see literal fire coming out of every hole in my face because I'm not even gonna, I wouldn't even, but just like I said, I guess, I don't know. I just kind of feel like them people wouldn't have been mad if Chris Rock would have smacked them back. I don't think that them people would have been mad because I think everybody in their right mind kind of thinking to themselves like why he didn't. But he kept his composure, and that's really, really good for him because a whole lot of people can't. I'm one of them. That's what's wrong with people out here in the streets today. That's why I be liking it. That's why I stay home. That's why I don't have any problem at all staying home because I don't have to be out there worrying about being out there in them streets with somebody threatening to shoot me or something because you think that you're gonna do what you're gonna do to me, and that's gonna be that. So I stay home, y'all. I'm good with staying home. I'm very, very good with staying home. So yeah, y'all. So but what do y'all like? What are y'all feelings about this? Because sometimes I feel like am I wrong for thinking that he should be over it at this point? I know that his brother Tony Rock, Tony did an interview, and I love Tony Rock, but Tony did an interview a few months ago, and I kind of agree a little bit of what he was saying in the interview when they asked him about, about this situation and how he feels about Will Smith. And like he was saying, he's in a tight situation because, he was in a tight situation because Will was his friend. He was on Will Smith's show. If y'all remember the show, All of Us with Dwayne Martin and Lisa Ray, but that was Will Smith. That was Will and Jada's show, and Tony Rock was on that show for about 4 years. So, like he said, it was kind of messed up for him because he's cool with Will Smith. He's cool with Will's family and all of that, and Chris Rock is his brother. But he said that he felt like regardless of whatever, that Will was wrong to just go up there and do what he did. And he said that he feels like Will owes Chris Rock 5 minutes of his time, like 5 minutes of a conversation, 5 minutes of a sit down or something like that, apology, and just talk it out. And I kind of agree with that. I can't remember if he said that Will Smith deserves him that time or whatever the case may be, but I feel that that would be a good, because at this point, like I said, y'all, that now I can feel Chris Rock still being angry about it, and even angrier about it now that Will is talking about it and making people laugh about it. When he wasn't, it was okay when he was doing it, but like I said, at the same time, is that kind of I can do and say what I want to about it because it happened to me and I was the victim. But this person can't because you were the bully in a whole situation. So how you laughing about it? How you talking about it and making people laugh about it? I don't know, y'all. It's just crazy, but I don't know. Just like I said, I just kind of feel like at the end of the day, if you still gonna be mad about it, it's just gonna be something. You just gonna be mad about it because that man ain't going anywhere. We're not canceling him, and he's not going anywhere, and it's probably not going to be the last time that he's going to reference the slap, just like it's probably not going to be the last time that Chris Rock is going to reference it in a joke. So but anyway, y'all, thank y'all for watching my video. I'm out.